Hello, guys. Welcome to a special episode of Sports Chat with DJ Matt with DJ Echo. Because guess what today is?
What up? Oh, I mean, what's today?
It's our 10th episode. Yeah, we did it. We got the 10. We're at
Yeah,
10.
it's really more than, but it's our 10th on YouTube.
It's our 10th on YouTube. Yeah. So milestones. Let's go. I know last week we said we were doing our power rankings of NFL players, but we're gonna do that next week because this week actually had some sports news that I think we need to talk about. It was a busy
We
week.
got
We got
news.
news. So you know what that means? Sports are coming back. That's what that means. I'm excited. So we're gonna start off with the NBA first because last night the NBA released a 100-page, I guess, memo or guidelines on how this Orlando thing is gonna work. They released the names of the hotels that the teams are gonna stay at. The hotels are based on seedings. The top 4 teams from each conference staying at one hotel, 5 through 8 from each conference at another, and then the teams on the outside looking in are going to be in a different hotel. So the Pelicans are in the third hotel.
Yeah,
But looking at these hotels, they're pretty nice. Like no matter where you're at, they're nice.
yeah. I mean, it's all at Disney, and even like the quote unquote worst hotels at Disney are still really nice.
Yeah. So like, and I think like the stuff they have available for the players to do, like I guess in their free time over there, is like they have golf, they got I think ping pong tables, they got 24-hour, I think like what concierge or room service, whatever it is. They got movie screenings, like they're fine, like they're basically on a paid vacation. I think really like they're gonna be living the high life in Orlando. Although
Yeah,
there's a lot of restrictions like where you can and cannot go, but that's a given though. Like they should have expected that. Yeah.
yeah. I saw that they were going to include the ability for players to report other players that are not
Oh,
following the guidelines. And all the memes. I think the funniest one is LeBron. He's like, "Yeah, I'm sure it was Kawhi and Giannis. They weren't following the rules."
it was something about like they were playing like you can't like so you can play ping pong. You can't play doubles in ping pong because of social distancing. So you can only play one v one. So you can't do 2v2. So it was like a meme of some I don't know what player it was, but like saying like, hey, yeah, they're playing doubles. Like, so
I saw one of Chris Paul. He was like, "Yeah, I'm sure they were 5 feet 11 inches, 11.5 inches apart."
yeah. Oh man, that's funny. I wonder exactly how serious. I mean, I guess they have to take every call seriously, but like, I feel like it shouldn't be anonymous. I feel like you know what I mean. Like, I feel like it shouldn't be out to the public. It should be anonymous to the public, but within the NBA, you should know who called on who. That way, you know it's not like a joke. Like if LeBron is calling because Giannis is breaking the rules, you gotta think, well, is he just doing
Okay,
that because you
yeah,
know?
just to, but I think what they should do is they should stick restrictions like, "Hey, don't use it just to use it. Like, use it if there's actually people breaking the rules."
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest downside, I think, for the players is that their families can't really be with them that often in Orlando. But that's a small price to pay for, like I said, paid vacation, basically. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I mean, like if I like they have till what June 24th to say if they're going or not. I would have called my team last night, and be like, I'm on the first flight there, like I'm going, like
Oh,
hands down, like
mhm.
so. I think a lot of players are gonna go. I think what Kyrie and Dwight Howard are talking about is just stupid. I mean, like Kyrie's not even playing, so what does he What does he care?
I don't know. I think Kyrie just needs to keep his mouth shut about a lot of this stuff that he's talking about, because like you need to understand, a lot of these guys, yeah, they might not play, but they're still going to get paid, you know. And a lot of these guys that don't have a LeBron contract, don't have an AD contract, don't have a Giannis contract. These people don't have These people don't have the supermax, So they need this. They need this money that they're going to be getting. And I don't know, me personally, if I played a sport for a living and I got the chance to go play, I don't care what the rules are. I want to go play.
Yeah, you're supposed to play for the love of the game, right? That's what everyone says.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Someone Kyrie's becoming the Antonio Brown of the NBA.
He's a flat earther, so what do you expect?
Did that just for the memes. So
You know what? I'll say this is a hot take, and I'm being serious here. Kyrie should have never left the Cavaliers. I mean, like when LeBron left, okay, then he could leave. But that trade that they did for Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder with the Celtics, Kyrie should have just stayed in Cleveland because they could have won another championship. I think they would have had a better shot at least. So that's just
I
me.
I think the problem with Kyrie is he wanted to be a leader so much, and then whenever he finally became a leader, he messed it up. So now he's just going to be playing second fiddle to Kevin Durant.
Yeah, basically.
Like, I mean, come on, we all know that that's KD's team. There's no way that that's Kyrie's team. I mean, it's Kyrie's this year, but once KD starts playing, he's going to be in the exact same position that he was in Cleveland.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just he should have just stayed in Cleveland. If he wanted to be a leader, he could have stayed in Cleveland because when LeBron left, he could have still been there and been the leader. Like easy, boom. Like it's not that hard. Like he tried too hard to be a leader, and it kind of ruined his career. Although he's still a really good player, and I think Brooklyn's gonna have a real shot next year winning the chip. But so far, in terms of his, I guess what you call it, status or
Locker room, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Off the court, whatever.
yeah, it kind of hurt that reputation. That's what I meant to say. Reputation kind of hurt his reputation a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Boston, and then now Brooklyn saying these weird things. But yeah, so should be fun. Should be fun. So let's get real quick into baseball. So we're at the point now where I think the players are understanding that they're not going to get what they want. And so basically what I've seen is, I don't know if these are real tweets or real Instagram posts or something, but I saw something where like some players were tweeting like, just tell us the time and the place and we're going to play. Like, we don't care anymore. We already lost too much money. We just want to play. Just tell us when we're coming back. Because baseball, like I said in the other episode, they missed a grand opportunity to be the first sport back. They should have been playing, honestly. But Rob Manfred is, I don't know, he's about to be worse than Roger Goodell, which I thought was impossible. But he's getting there. Like, he's slowly getting there. So what's your take on all the baseball stuff?
Well, for the first time in a while, I watched ESPN. It was yesterday, and they were talking about this. And the statement that Rob Manfred put out whenever he said baseball is 100% going to happen, and then he had to go back on his word. It is tough because it's like, okay, I understand that as an organization, the MLB understands that they're going to be taking a hit with this because they're not going to be able to sell tickets. You know, that's a lot of revenue going. So, you know, they're trying to salvage as much money as they can. And I don't think that cutting the baseball players' salaries was necessarily the move to go. I don't know. You know, something just needs to be called out. But the players need to understand that they could have just taken, you know, whatever the league offered them. They didn't have to continue this back and forth game of, well, we want this, we want this. And it's like, I think both sides are to blame. I think the players are to blame, as I think that they're asking for their full salaries. And while I understand that they want their full salaries, they also have to understand that it's a business and they can't give the players their full salary if they're not getting any ticket revenue. And on the other hand, the owners and the MLB itself need to understand that these players still want to be paid as much money as they possibly can. So I think that, yeah, they need to come to agreement because you know, right now it's a two-sport race. It's basketball and football now, because baseball, I think, now has left that conversation. And the last time that baseball whenever they went on a strike, it took almost 4 or 5 years for them to build up back the reputation that they had, you know, before the strike. So if this happens again, I think that baseball could honestly just disappear into obscurity. Like, I don't think that that's a dumb thing to say.
No, it's baseball is a dying sport in terms of viewership. I think in terms of people playing baseball, I really do think it's still popular, just as popular as football, basketball. I think because a lot of kids grow up playing t-ball and then baseball. Baseball's still a popular sport in that regard. But if people sitting down and watching a game on TV, that's dying. Because baseball is too long. Sometimes it's too boring. Nothing happens, it seems like. So it's a tough sport to sell now, especially in a time where football is fast-paced and basketball is so fast-paced, you know. So baseball is in a really tough predicament. And that's why I thought they missed their mark, because now when they do come back, if it does come back, you have to compete with basketball and football, not to mention hockey and then soccer. Golf is back already, and NASCAR and all that stuff. They're competing with too many sports now. Like, they missed their chance to do anything relevant, honestly.
And I'm not a baseball fan, but I wish, for the sake of the MLB, that they would have come back as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone was like, oh, there's the big three of sports, football, basketball, and baseball. But it was slowly becoming the big two. And now because of this, I think it's going to really be the big two, because whenever they're playing all at the same time, whenever viewers are going to have to be split between basketball, football, and baseball, 9 times out of 10, people are not going to watch baseball.
Yeah. And the thing I'm scared about for baseball is this season, like throw that away, is just the CBA, whenever they do this next CBA. Because already the negotiations were bad and for this between the Players Association and the league. When you get to the CBA in the next 2 years, a year or so, there's a chance that there's going to be a lockout for baseball. And we might not have baseball for a while, more so now. So it's really an important time in baseball history to get this together. And I think, why didn't they come up with a plan like the NBA did? Why weren't they trying to work with each other instead of fighting each other for something? You know, like that's what was wrong. They were fighting and not working.
I think the problem is that there's too much money involved in baseball. I think that's the problem, because
Yeah.
I mean, you look the top stars in football, excluding quarterbacks, at most you'll get a $60-70 million deal over 4 years. Basketball, outside of the supermax, it's what, like 100, 150, 120 over a certain X amount of time. Baseball, you know, who is it? Bryce Harper signed a $300 million deal.
Yep.
I
Ridiculous.
think the problem is that there's too much money. They're handing out too much money, because whenever you sign football, 4 years, $60 million, that's pretty reasonable. We're talking about millions of dollars. We're not talking about you're going to get paid minimum wage,
Right.
So honestly, I think that there's too much money, and this is weird to say as a business, but I think there's too much money being handed to the players for them to be like, well, we want that money. And I think it's justifiable for them to say that we want that money. But, I think if I'm being promised $300 million instead of $60 million, I'd be a little less okay to let that $60 million slide. But I don't know. It's just tough to say.
And you think about it, baseball, in terms of like physical sports, it's not that physical. Like, I mean, like football, you're getting hit by another human being almost every play. Basketball too, it's physical. Baseball, I mean, I mean, it's an athletic sport, but like, think about it. It's not, you don't have to be in the best of shape to be a good baseball player. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you're getting paid more than football is kind of crazy to me, because football is getting hurt more than baseball.
Outfield, and like for a whole inning you might never see the ball, you just stand out there. I mean, yeah, you've got to be ready, but the fact that you might spend that whole time just back there,
and like you only get a chance to hit maybe 4 times a game, right? 4 or 5 times a game you get up to the plate and hit.
Yeah.
So the most you have to run in a game for an average player might only be 3 or 4 times in a game. You might have to actually run. Like, it's crazy. Like, so
yeah, football player, if you're the starting running back, you could see the ball 20-30 times a game. You know,
and you're getting hit, not just you're not just running, you're getting hit by human beings.
If you're a athlete, if you're a dual threat back, that's going to shoot up to 40, 40 touches a game, either catching the ball or running. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, so baseball definitely overpaid players, hands down, no question about it. Although they're good at what they do. I'm not saying they don't deserve the big money, but they don't deserve that big of money. $300 million is ridiculous.
Exactly.
Any athlete is ridiculous. And plus, these players have sponsorships too and stuff like Nike and all that stuff. They get money from that as well. So they get, what, $500 million maybe a player may get? That's crazy. That's ridiculous. So let's get out of baseball, because baseball's dying anyway. No one wants to know about baseball. So let's get some football talk. So the big thing I want to get to is Dalvin Cook, because Dalvin Cook has last week said that he's going to hold out with the Vikings so he can get a new contract, which – fine. The last time a running back did that was Melvin Gordon, and it didn't really work out. But I think Dalvin Cook's in a better position, because I think for Minnesota to be relevant and good, and for Kirk Cousins to be good, they need Dalvin Cook. So
but I think the worst market right now for any player, like any star player, skill position, whenever we say skill position, I think the worst position is running back. Because you look at someone like Derrick Henry and they franchise tag him.
Yeah.
The problem with running backs is I think that they have the worst longevity statistically out of any position. simply whether you're a power back, whether you're a speed back, you get hit a lot.
Yeah.
Most outside of the offensive lineman, but those are some big boys. They can show a lot of hits. Most running backs are not the size of Derrick Henry. Most running backs are more the size of Alvin Kamara. Maybe 6 foot, 6'1". They're on the shorter side, but they got wheels on them. They're still getting hit every game.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is running backs don't have a lot of bargaining. You sign them to a rookie deal, right? You've got the rookie deal. Then maybe you sign a 4-year. So you think by the time you're ready to sign another quarterback, running another deal, you're probably, almost in your 30s. And for most teams, whenever a running back gets to the 30s, that's it for them,
Yeah.
So instead of playing the big bucks, they'll get a younger guy in free agency, or they'll just pick up a guy in draft. But yes, I do agree that Dalvin Cook is in a better position than
Melvin Gordon.
Right, Melvin Gordon was. But, you want to look at somebody who got his way. Look at David Johnson. He signed a big deal, and then what?
Yeah.
He's not that good anymore.
Nah, bad contract. Houston screwed.
So it's like, whenever you look at someone like David Johnson, as an owner or a GM, I would say, you know what? I don't want to sign my running back to a big deal like that. I'd rather franchise tag him, or I'd rather just let him play, and then whenever he turns 30, 31, I'm just going to pick somebody up in the draft, or I'm going to pick somebody up in free agency. It sucks for a running back, but whenever you look at statistics and whenever the longevity is only so short of a span of a time, there's not much there's not much that you can do.
I agree with you on that. I think what they should do with running backs is when they're a rookie, their rookie deal should be 2 years or 3 years max. That way they can get their money. Because like Saquon Barkley, right? You look at Saquon, even though he was hurt last year, arguably one of the best in the league. Like, he's good. Derrick Henry's been in the league longer than 3 years. But like Zeke getting his money, Alvin Kamara now, his contract's coming up too, like after the season. So that's gonna be an interesting thing for the Saints to worry about too. And thing with Todd Gurley and how he's kind of fallen off too. If they would sign shorter rookie deals, that way they can get their money earlier, and it would be more useful to the team as well. I think that's what they should. But
yeah, I agree.
So, but for the Vikings, for them to be good, they need Dalvin Cook, because I view Kirk Cousins like I view Jared Goff. They're not bad quarterbacks. They're just not great quarterbacks. They're average. And
right.
I harken back to the playoff game with the Saints and the Vikings last season, where Kirk Cousins didn't beat us. Their defense did, and Dalvin Cook ran on us. That's where the game was decided. So to me, if you want Kirk Cousins to be good, because he signed with a 2-year, $40-50 million deal or something, Kirk Cousins did something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So for 2 years, you need a running back that can help Kirk Cousins out. Because if not, you don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. And they have Justin Jefferson now.
Yeah,
but he's still a rookie. We don't know what he's really going to be. So you need a running back like Dalvin Cook in Minnesota for them.
I agree. Yeah, I think they should sign Dalvin Cook, but I think that they should also be careful and not pull another David Johnson. You sign him, maybe you get one good year out of him, and then you're still got to pay him a large sum of money, and he's poop.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So the future of Vikings depends on it. So other contract news: Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the 49ers, got a 6-year extension. So he had 3 years left on his deal, I guess, but they decided to nix that and just give him a 6-year extension. So I think it's well-deserved. I think he did a good job last year coaching with the 49ers. And I think the 49ers this year are going to be just as good as last year. But I think their defense is going to be a little worse. Not by much, but a little bit, because they lost DeForest Buckner and Sheldon Day to the Colts. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is a good quarterback. And I think he's going to get better and better every year. They got some good weapons with receivers, and I expect them to be a good team again. So well-deserved, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the only thing that needs to happen is Kyle Shanahan just needs to put more trust into Jimmy Garoppolo, because I think it was obvious, especially during the Super Bowl, that Kyle Shanahan didn't trust Jimmy Garoppolo to win that game. He did not. I think it was pretty obvious, because he only let him take a shot maybe once or twice. And of course, whenever he did take a shot, it ended up in an interception or an incomplete pass. I think
Emmanuel Sanders, it was an incomplete pass, I think.
Yeah, he overthrew Emmanuel Sanders. So it's not like they were unwarranted, but still, I think whenever you get to the Super Bowl, you need to trust your quarterback. if you're going to sign a quarterback, you need to trust him. Because if not, what are you paying him money for? If you don't trust your quarterback to win you a Super Bowl, then why do you have him?
Yeah. I think, they leaned a little too heavy on the run game for my liking. Kind of like what Tennessee did with Ryan Tannehill. They kind of just ran the ball with Derrick Henry. But the difference is they used 3 different running backs in San Francisco, and Tennessee only used 1. That brand of football is like old school football, I think, which is kind of weird because, like you said, they have great weapons in Kittle, and they had Sanders last year, and they had was it Goodwin, whatever?
Yeah.
Marquise Goodwin. Yeah, so they had some good weapons, and they still have good weapons. I mean, like George Kittle, like they're saying George Kittle's the next Gronk,
Right. They lost Sanders, but Sanders is more of a vet, but still, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he was great. I mean, he was traded from Denver in the middle of the season, and he made an immediate impact, I think. Especially in that Saints game. I mean, the 49ers Saints game, probably the best game last year in general, even though we lost. But
Yeah, it was definitely the best game last year, hands down, not even close.
So so the 49ers gonna be a good team. I have high hopes for them. They're gonna be a good team. So he's well-deserved contract. So we should get into. I guess we can get into Tom Brady now because, I mean, there's 2 things with Tom Brady. Obviously, the Buccaneers, they released official photos of him in a Bucs uniform. But first, speaking of the 49ers, let's talk about this. So a trade for Tom Brady to San Francisco for Jimmy G to New England, that was on the table. Somebody said that was officially on the table last season. So that would have been a very interesting trade. That would have went down because Jimmy G would have went back to New England. Bill Belichick would have gotten the guy he wanted. And Tom Brady be in San Francisco probably for another 3 or 4 years.
I don't know. I mean, I look at Tom Brady, and I think he's still a really good quarterback. But I mean, they went to the Super Bowl based on run game and defense, and I think that they're still kind of be focused on run game and defense. I mean, really, the only weapon that Tom Brady would have truly is like Kittle. I think it was better for them to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, let him develop better. I think that it was better that they kept Jimmy Garoppolo, in my opinion. It's not that I hate Tom Brady. It's just in my sense, the 49ers, I don't know. I mean, they may be in a win now mode or not. I mean, they just went to the Super Bowl, but sometimes you can be in a win later and go to the Super Bowl,
Yeah, that's true. But see, I kind of like the move because I think because I watched Colin Cowherd earlier today, and that's kind of where this story is coming from too. I heard from him say it, but he said like it'd have been a win-win for both teams because the narrative is that Bill Belichick wanted Jimmy G, but Tom Brady didn't want Jimmy G. Like he felt threatened by Jimmy G, so they traded Jimmy G to San Francisco. But in this case, Tom Brady would have gotten traded to San Francisco, and Bill Belichick was able to get the quarterback he wanted for the future. So and I think it would have worked out. I think Tom Brady, if you think about it, San Francisco is kind of like a New England, like in terms of that personnel and what they have and how they play football. You have George Kittle, like I said, is like the next Gronk. So there you go. And then Marquise Goodwin is probably better than all the receivers New England has already to begin with.
Yeah.
So I think Tom Brady would have been to a better team, and New England can focus on rebuilding, but not having to go in the draft and get a quarterback or worry about Jarrett Stidham, So I think it would have worked out for both teams. Whether San Francisco went to the Super Bowl last year with Tom Brady or not, I don't know. But I think in the long run it would have worked out. I think I wouldn't have been that bad of a trade. So yeah, it's interesting. What ifs, So let's talk about Tom Brady and the Bucs uniform because they released those photos, like I said yesterday, and he looks good, man. You know what? All these teams that changed uniforms, I think the Buccaneers are my new favorite in terms of the new uniform. Like Tom Brady looks so good in that uniform, like it's crazy. Oh man.
Yeah, but someone posted. They said these things just don't look like right, and it was Tom Brady in the Buccaneers uniform next to Michael Jordan in a Wizards uniform. It just doesn't. Even me, the hater of the Patriots, it just doesn't look right.
I don't know. I don't think it looks good to me. I think it looks better. I think it looks better in a Buccaneers uniform, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know. I'm becoming a fan of Tom Brady, by the way. I'm slowly but surely getting there. You know what I mean? I just think he's opened up more. He's more of a person I can relate to now. And I'm telling you right now, I'm saying this right now. I think I'm jumping on that Buccaneers bandwagon. I really am. But here's the deal, though. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Saints all the way. But if some Buccaneers somehow get to the Super Bowl, I would not be mad if they won it. because like they haven't been to a playoffs in I don't know how long. And that fan base deserves a winner.
Yeah, the last time they won a Super Bowl, I think, was in 2002 or something.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, of all the NFC South teams that the Saints have to play, the Buccaneers are the one I hate the least. So like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Tampa Bay winning. I mean, so I'll jump on that bandwagon. I guess I should be ashamed of it, but I'm not. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. Why not?
Yeah, you should. I'm not doing
it. I mean, who knows? But yeah, I just like the Buccaneers uniform a lot. I wish they would release. I want to see Joe Burrow in a Bengals uniform officially. Like I know we've seen like photoshopped images and stuff. I want to see him in like an actual photo of him in a uniform. See how he looks. I just want.
I'm sure we'll start to see the photos soon as the facilities start to open up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just excited for this NFL season, man. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. Let's get to Chris Sims because for those who don't know Chris Sims, he is the son of Phil Sims, legendary Giants quarterback. He works for NBC Sports, I believe. And Chris Sims used to be an NFL. He actually used to play for the Buccaneers. And I think he played in Denver too or something. So
yeah, he was definitely a journeyman quarterback.
Yeah. But he works for NBC Sports, and every year he does his top quarterback. Like he ranks all the quarterbacks in the league, or the starting quarterbacks in the league, I guess, or whatever. And this year he did the list with 40 quarterbacks. Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston are like in the low 30s on that list.
Yeah, Jameis Winston is 33. Taysom Hill is 36. Right above Taysom Hill is Jared Stidham. Taysom Hill is only above Herbert, Mitchell Trubisky, Dwayne Haskins, and Tua Tagovailoa in that order.
Yeah. But the big thing that we're gonna talk about is he ranked Tom Brady and Drew Brees. Tom Brady was 15th, Drew Brees is 16th, right on that list, which I think is total BS. You're telling me he can name 15 quarterbacks better than Drew Brees? I can't.
I don't know if I can name 5, better than Drew Brees right now.
Like I know what his number one's gonna be. It's probably gonna be Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, you can make an argument for now. Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, maybe Dak, maybe Wentz. But other than that, I can't name no one else after those 6. I really can't. Like, who else are you going to put in there? Big Ben?
Yeah.
He was hurt last year. Are you going to put Big Ben over Drew? Come on now.
And another thing to note is that he hasn't put Ryan Tannehill yet.
Oh, get out of here. I didn't even realize that. Ooh.
Yep. So here's some notable people underneath Drew Brees and Tom Brady: Phillip Rivers, Josh Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff is at 24, below Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones and Baker Mayfield. Joe Burrow is ahead of Andy Dalton,
which I think is bad. That's wrong. Andy Dalton should be higher.
Teddy Bridgewater is at 29. So out of all the starters, he's at 29. He's only above Gardner Minshew, Nick Foles, Case Keenum.
Yeah, Nick Foles is way too low, too.
I agree, at 31. So yeah, so I don't understand. So here's some people that are gonna be above Drew Brees, and tell me if this makes any sense. Kirk Cousins.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
Nope.
Matt Ryan.
Nope. I know Dak and Winston are going to be above him.
And Kyler Murray.
And I mean,
Kyler Murray is close.
I mean, in terms of like where he's going to be positioned at, I'm sure he's going to be either like the top, like before 10 or like in like the lower 10s. Okay, I can make an argument for that, but like over Drew Brees, no. But like in terms of where they rank him, okay, fine. But over Drew Brees, no.
Yeah. I just don't understand.
And actually, let me read you what he actually said about Drew Brees, because he posted something on his Instagram like why he did it. But I'm gonna read you what he says, and I'm telling you, it makes no sense to me. I gotta find it first. Okay, here we go. He says, accuracy and timing still awesome, but ability to push downfield is going downhill. the Saints wouldn't be moving towards Taysom Hill if Breeze was still a top 10 QB. That's BS. Because first of all, Drew Brees is like 40-something years old. And second, he can't go downfield if he doesn't have a number 2 wide receiver that can go downfield. Now they have Emmanuel Sanders. They might try to throw downfield now. So that argument to me is dumb.
And you know what, right? If people want to accept that Drew Brees is the 16th best wide receiver in the league, then they also have to accept that Michael Thomas is the best wide receiver in the league. Because now you can't make the argument, oh, he's got Drew Brees throwing to him. Well, according to Chris Sims over here, Drew Brees is the 16th best quarterback. So that's about halfway.
Yeah, he's literally starting quarterback. He's halfway. Like
listen, I can understand you don't want to put Drew Brees in your top 5, but he's got to be in the top.
Yeah,
he's got 6, 7, or 8. You cannot put Drew Brees at 16. I understand that he's getting older, but his accuracy is still off the charts. His accuracy is still ridiculous. He's still got a high IQ. Yeah, his arm strength isn't there, but his arm strength was never there. That was never his strength. His strength was never his arm strength. It was always his accuracy, and it was always his game managing and his football IQ. That was always what Drew Brees was best at.
Exactly. Thank you. And like I said, he never, like the last couple of seasons, he didn't have a pure number 2 wide receiver to throw to. Michael Thomas's game is not deep ball. His game is like the 15-yard routes, the 10-yard routes, the slant routes. That's what he runs. He can do the deep ball every now and again, but like that's not the thing he's known for. But now you have Emmanuel Sanders, a veteran that can go downfield and catch some big balls. Maybe they do open it up a little bit for Drew Brees in terms of the deep ball. I just don't think they had the personnel to do the deep ball. That's what, you know what I'm saying? I don't put that all on Drew Brees. I put that on the way the team's built, you know?
Yeah.
And like they're moving toward Taysom because guess what? Drew Brees is about to retire. So why wouldn't you have his successor in the building so he can learn? Like that's a weird reason to knock him. Like that makes, I
don't understand. It's just ridiculous.
And I like Chris Sims a lot. I really do. But like this list is stupid. It's a stupid list. Makes no sense.
It really is. Like, listen, I don't care if you got a problem with the Saints or if you got a problem with Drew Brees. If you got a problem with Saints fans that always complain every year, oh, we got screwed over, even though we do. Last year we didn't. But whatever. If you got a problem with that, fine. But don't take it out on making a ridiculous, dumb list. Like, I would love to see I can't wait to see the 14 quarterbacks that he puts above Drew Brees and Tom Brady. I agree that Tom Brady is not as good as he used to be, but I don't think that he's 15th.
I think Tom Brady is as top 10 as well, but like in the bottom half, like where Drew Brees is at. Like I would put Tom Brady like at 7 or something. Like I wouldn't argue against that. Like I just think they're like even Phillip Rivers. Like what's the disrespect with Phillip Rivers? Like okay, so he threw a lot of interceptions last year. Okay, but the team wasn't that good. The O-line was bad. He had to rush a lot of throws. Phillip Rivers is gonna have a better year this year, easily.
Yeah.
So like, why are we disrespecting Phillip Rivers all of a sudden? Like the disrespect to older quarterbacks is ridiculous.
I just can't wait to see all the ridiculous people that are definitely not better than Drew Brees that he's going to put on his list, and then people are just going to roast them. Like I just saw the tweet that he made, and I scrolled through the comments. I think there was only one person that said, "Oh, finally, someone who doesn't put Drew Brees in their top 5." Like that, and that was only one person. That was only one person.
And then Big Ben's not on the list yet, right? So Big Ben's gonna be ranked higher than Drew. Big Ben didn't even play last year. What the hell?
Hey.
Oh my God. Chris Sims, man, you tripping, bro. Tripping.
Exactly. Look, okay. This article that I just read, who is it? The Spun? It doesn't matter. Look, Chris Sims' views on Brees also flies in the face of his ongoing assertion that Michael Thomas is not one of the NFL's top 2 receivers. His contention is that Thomas only puts up his huge number because Brees is so good. But if Brees is having such a hard time throwing the ball downfield, how did Thomas shatter the NFL receptions record and lead the league in every major category in 2019? Again, I don't understand. It's like when it comes to arguments about Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, and the Saints, it seems that the only thing consistent is the inconsistency.
You're right. That's a good way to put it, actually.
You can't say that Michael Thomas is not a top 2 or 3 wide receiver in the league because he has Drew Brees throwing to them, and then in the same breath say that Drew Brees is not a top 10 wide receiver. Oh my God, top 10 quarterback.
Yeah,
God, that's so.
I totally agree with that. Like that's ridiculous. It's such a bad list. Jesus. At least you put Jared Goff in the right place. I agree with them on that.
I mean, what about Devontae Adams? Is he not good simply because he has Aaron Rodgers throwing to him?
And everyone's saying that Aaron Rodgers is falling off.
Yeah.
So,
or what about Tyreek Hill? People that say Tyreek, okay, well, he's got Patrick Mahomes throwing to him. So it doesn't matter. The only person, okay, let's see. Oh, guess what? All the good wide receivers have average or better quarterbacks throwing to them. D-Hop, he now has he had Deshaun Watson. Now he's got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's on the up and up. Deshaun Watson's pretty good. Matt Ryan is nothing to sniff at with Julio Jones. You want to say Tyreek Hill? Okay, he's got Patrick Mahomes. Devontae Adams, okay, he's got Aaron Rodgers. Michael Thomas, oh wait, he's got Drew Brees. All of these wide receivers have really good quarterbacks. Why? Because to be a good wide receiver, you have to have a good quarterback.
I'm gonna say something. Hot take. If the Falcons didn't have Julio Jones, I think Matt Ryan is just an average quarterback. I don't think Matt Ryan's that good, honestly. I really don't. I've never been on that train of Matt Ryan.
Listen,
he had like one good season. One good season.
A wide receiver can make a quarterback. That is true. But more often than not, a quarterback will make a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Look at Drew Brees. Whenever that weird period between Marcus Colston and Michael Thomas, whenever we really didn't have any big, and he was still throwing to these guys making them like superstars. Or what about Tom Brady with all these no-name wide receivers, and he's turning them into good wide receivers? But the really good guys, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, Julio Jones, I'm sure if they had another good quarterback throwing to them, they would still be doing just as good. I don't think that for any of these wide receivers that you can make the argument, oh, well, they have this person throwing to them. Okay, great, that's wonderful, but they still have to catch the ball. They still have to catch it.
Yeah, hands down, real talk. Preach, buddy, preach.
Big facts.
All right, I want to get into the NCAA real quick because it's just I've heard about this Reggie Bush controversy, but now that we know all the details and like what really went down with that stuff, it makes me mad. Okay, that because Reggie Bush in New Orleans is a hero. He part of that Super Bowl team. I think he's a hero. He's one of the best running backs Saints have ever had. Like he's a legend. Like trust me.
Okay, all right.
Saints fans love him. Let's be like they do.
Yeah.
But the fact that so basically he had to give up his Heisman Trophy. USC had to give up their national championship and all their wins because Reggie Bush's family got $10,000 so that they could live in an actual building instead of on the streets is ridiculous. Like, that's so stupid. The NCAA getting billions of dollars off of every college sport, and yet because somebody got $10,000, you have to give up all your chance. That's so stupid. NCAA makes me sick.
I think it's frustrating now because now they're saying that college players can now make money off of their likeness. And it's what seems to be the case is that it's only going to apply from now on. It doesn't seem like any grievances that any college player had before is going to be addressed. There's a guy on YouTube. His name is Destroying. He used to play college ball. He was doing YouTube videos. He got caught doing YouTube videos, and he's making money. And they said, you either do football or you do YouTube. He chose YouTube. Whenever he found out that the NCAA was making that change, he called their offices. He was like, hey, so now that y'all are making this change, can I play college ball again? And they were like, probably not.
The NCAA is full of hypocrites. Like, one of the most worst run, I don't even know what to call them, an organization, a league. What are they? What are they?
A cesspool of S, that's what they are.
Their rules are so stupid. And it's like, okay, so you're telling me that Reggie Bush was a better player because he got money? So that makes him automatically like a cheat code or something? That's not how it works. Like, it's not like he took drugs or something. Like, if you took drugs, okay, that makes sense. He got money. Like, because somebody got money. That's like if I gave you money right now and you may go play football. Like, you automatically are the best player in the team now? That makes no sense.
I think it's understandable if you want to say like no like large brand deals or anything, but come on, taking loans out. This is adult stuff. This is not player stuff. This is adulting things you have to do to survive. You have to make money, to live. Not every single college football player is going to live on campus, not want to have a job.
Right.
Like,
so stupid. And here's the thing. the only way the NCAA is going to change, and this is what I firmly believe, and I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I don't know. Like, I don't know all the rules because the rules are dumb. But, like, I'm of the belief that if the big universities, like I'm talking about like Alabama, I'm talking about like LSU or Oregon or Stanford, Florida State, if those big universities that makes the NCAA so much money, if they would speak out against these rules, like if Nick Saban came out and said, we don't agree with these rules, change them, I feel like then we'll get some change. Because I'm telling you right now, the NCAA is not going to kick out every single Power 5 team. And
No.
there's
I mean, if the entirety of the SEC was like, hey, if you don't change these rules, we're leaving, I guarantee you stuff would change overnight.
And I don't know how they're going to go about doing that, but I wish that's what would happen. Because I know now that they're kind of starting to change, but they're really not. They say they are, but they're not. The NCAA should have been changed. But I really do think if like Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, Ed Orgeron, those type of guys would speak up against some of these dumb NCAA rules. Because like the LSU basketball coach, Will Wade, like I think I don't remember exactly what's going on with him. I think he might be, I don't know the whole case thing, but like the fact that you have to vacate championships, vacate Heisman trophies, like that makes no sense to me. Like you earned that. Like you're not cheating. Like it just baffles me. It really does. And the fact that like Reggie Bush couldn't even go to USC's campus and like go to any of their football games, that's so stupid. Like it's so petty. I don't understand why that's even a thing.
I don't know. They're just wrong for that.
And it's not just football, basketball. This goes on. Like let's be real here. You know how many college athletes are probably getting paid by the university in secret? Probably a lot.
A lot, yeah.
I'm talking about the big schools. I don't know nothing about the small schools, but the big schools, you can guarantee somebody's getting something, you know?
Well, because these athletes are like, yo, I'm trying to eat. Like, my guy, I'm starving. And they're like, all right, listen, we'll give you some money.
And
like these guys can't have jobs. They can't make any money whatsoever. You make money, the NCAA finds out, boom, done. Your sports career done. And for some people, that's why they're at college. This is why I don't think that we should take away college sports in general. But I think what should happen is the big like the guys that you could say from high school could go straight into the league. I think that we should have developmental leagues. So you're not forcing them to go to college, because you're forcing these guys to go to college, right? So then they can't earn money, they can't have a job. Let these guys go into the developmental league. They're there for maybe 1 to 2 years. They can make money. They can get paid by these teams. They can still have a job whenever they're not playing sports, you know? Everyone's happy. There's still going to be people who go to college and who want to play sports, you know?
Right. And another thing, too, like Zion's dealing with his lawsuit because, like, he got money or something. Like, his family got money while he was in college. Okay, so what would have changed? What would have happened if he didn't get the money?
It's not like they won the championship that year.
Exactly. So who cares? Like, they're suing him for $100 million for what? Like, it's so stupid. Like, I don't understand what goes on in NCAA. Like, oh, my God. Just, they're worse than the NFL and they're worse than the MLB, which I never thought I would ever hear. Like, imagine who could be worse than that. Like, Jesus Christ. And it's a shame because they put out a great product. Like, March Madness is great. College football is great. In all, aspects is great. College baseball, when it gets to playoff time in college baseball, that's great. They put out a great product. But it sucks that the people they're playing for, sucks. And, and I said this too, like they pay the band to play at the football games. In every school, I'm pretty sure they pay the bands. Why can't they pay the football players like maybe $500 a game or something?
I mean, I know they have scholarships, but that doesn't cover anything outside of tuition and stuff.
And guess what? Not all athletes have scholarships too. Like some people are walk-ons and they have to pay for the school while playing football. So they can't. So, I mean, I don't understand why the NCAA is so stupid. I just don't. It's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we should start a movement. Give Reggie Bush his Heisman back. I think that should be a movement.
Start a movement. Cancel the NCAA. Everyone wants to cancel every company. You want to cancel something? Cancel the NCAA.
Yes, please. Thank God. I'm telling you, once coaches and like big time people, universities start speaking out, that's when they'll change. But until then, it's going to stay the same. So there's that. So real quick, let's get. So Las Vegas is gonna host the Pro Bowl. So that's gonna be fun. That just was announced the other day too.
Seems like they're really pushing this Las Vegas market.
As they should. I think Vegas is gonna be a great market for a football team. I think the Raiders are in a good spot, and their stadium looks nice too, by the way. So that's a plus. So that's gonna be cool. Madden 21, Lamar Jackson. We already knew he was the cover athlete, but they just released the cover concepts the other day too. They look pretty solid, you know.
Yeah.
But I like Madden games are the same. NBA 2K games are all the same. So
Looks like Zion's gonna have something to do with the next 2K. Did they say whether or not he's gonna be the cover athlete?
Well, they said that he wasn't the cover athlete. That's what I'm hearing. But they just used him for promotional, I guess. Or like, you know how like, I don't know, it was like 2K16 or something where they had like 3 different athletes, like Steph Curry, they had Anthony Davis, and I think James Harden were like the 3 cover athletes or something on 2K16, I believe.
Yeah. All I gotta say is that with this one, they should have a Legends Edition with Kobe Bryant on the cover.
Yeah, I agree, hands down.
Like, if you don't want to put him on the base game, fine. You want to get a cover athlete, fine. But the deluxe Legends Edition, whatever, like they did with Dwayne, it has to be Kobe Bryant. It
has to.
Kobe has to be somewhere on that game, whether it's the base edition, whether it's the Legends. I don't care. He has to be a part of that game somehow.
I think if they just make Kobe the cover athlete in general, I think no one would have anything to say about it. I think it'd be liked around the country and stuff. They'd be on board with it. I'd be on board. I don't care. I don't really care who the cover athlete is, to be honest. It don't make me no difference. But, you know.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because, so they have, the Madden curse, right? But they don't have a 2K curse. Interesting.
Maybe start one.
Let's real quick. So Lamar Jackson said that they underestimated the Titans, which is why they lost. What do you think of that? That's kind of funny.
I think I think it's true that they did underestimate the Titans because they were the 6th seed, so it's kind of easy to underestimate the Titans. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for Lamar Jackson. Oh my God, I saw someone put out. It was a joke. It was Lamar Jackson. He was like, "Man, I'm happy to be the color athlete, but I don't want the Madden curse to hit me." And it was like EA responding and said, "Don't worry, it won't work. It won't affect your playoff."
Playoff, yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, "Oh my God,
that's funny." Patrick Mahomes is the only one that really broke the curse because Antonio Brown fell hard with his curse. That curse.
Antonio Brown just the curse the curse looked at Patrick Mahomes, looked back at Antonio Brown. They said, "No, we need some more time with this fool."
They went so hard on Antonio Brown that they just decided to skip Patrick Mahomes. They were like, "We're too tired to mess with you, bro."
Sorry, we're sorry, Patrick Mahomes. Even Madden curse likes to bow down to Patrick Mahomes. God.
What was that Browns running back that had one good year that was on the Madden 12 or something? Was it Hillis?
That was Hillis or something, yeah.
Like him and Antonio Brown got the curse the hardest. Those two, hands down.
Yeah, well, that one EA didn't pick. That was a fan vote, and it came down to Michael Vick and Peyton Hillis.
Oh man, that's a terrible. I would have voted for Michael Vick actually.
I don't know. They went with him for the memes, and then now it's and it's funny because I actually have that Madden for the Xbox 360.
Are you really?
Yeah.
The oldest Madden I got, I think, is Madden 11 with Drew Brees on the Wii. Which the graphics in that game is really bad, by the way. Really bad.
Yeah, I thought they were really good for the time, but every single Madden you think they're really good for the time.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like the 2K with the commercials, they just added more sweat. That's basically what they make it look better. Just added more sweat to Zion.
Yeah, they joke it was like we're gonna add sweat to Zion, and then everyone else is gonna look stupid, but Zion's gonna look good.
Yep. You got anything else you want to talk about? I'm running out of stuff now.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, that's gonna do it for this week of Sports Chat with DJ Matt, our 10th episode. Thought it was a great episode. Next week, I think we will do our player power rankings for the NFL. We'll definitely do it next week. But this week we just had so much news that I wanted to get to it. So what's the key word of the day, Seth? What you got?
Key word, key phrase. It's gonna be Chris Sims has no brain. That's gonna be the phrase for this week.
No brain.
Chris Sims has no brain.
Chris Simp.
Simp?
Chris Simp.
Nope, Chris Simp. Getting simp. And if anything, he was doing the opposite of simping for Drew Brees.
Yep. All right, so that's going to do it for us this week. We'll talk to you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. Follow us on Instagram at Sports Chat with DJ Matt1. Number 1, no spaces. Thank you, DJ Echo. Talk to you next week, buddy.
All right.